If you guys thought that the GOP learned its lesson during the election in 2012, you are wrong. Just recently, the California GOP had a convention in California, and they were passing out these pins. Take a look at what they said.
So the Republican Party in California is back on the mend. They're gonna rebuild their party. We're gonna rebrand and become. We're gonna provide answers for California. For those who can't see the image of the buttons they were selling at their California GOP convention, the button reads, KFC Hillary Special. 2 fat thighs, 2 small breasts, ... left wing. Whoa. These guys are just so moronic. It's unbelievable. And I say guys because, I mean, they're mostly guys.
Now, if the GOP is trying to appeal to women, this is obviously not the right way to go about it. They obviously had an issue with the female vote in 2012, especially after people like Todd Akin said that, you know, the female body has a way of shutting itself down after getting raped. But one thing that I do want to point out, and I think that this is a really good point made by one of our viewers, is that, you know, oftentimes liberals love to make fun of Chris Christie's weight. So how does this differ? And I want to ask you about that, Desi.
I don't think it's actually that different at all. Mm-hmm. You know, this whole appearance image politics that people are doing, they slam each other for how they look. You know, I don't personally participate in that because I think it's wrong. You know, it's not my own personal way of doing things. But this, with this specific issue with the GOP, I'm pretty sure that was a vendor and not necessarily the California GOP. Nonetheless, they should have apologized. They should have come out and said, hey, you know, we didn't know about this. We had nothing to do with this, and we're really sorry. But I don't think they have, and I think that would have been really easy, even if they didn't mean it, to have done that. Yeah. So the fact that they haven't, I think, says a lot and shows that they have not evolved at all, not that anybody really expected them to.
So the reason why this story broke was because there was a reporter, a female reporter from the San Francisco Chronicle, who attended this convention, and she tweeted about the buttons, and then after the outrage, the vendor decided to take the buttons down. The California GOP was like, no, let's get rid of that. You know, so they did respond and react quickly after they got a little bit of media backlash. But Jimmy, do you think that the GOP has learned anything from the last election? Do you think that they're ever going to solve their issue with women?
Yes, well, they have learned, especially they're reaching out to Hispanics. Like they have a new button that says Marco Rubio, 2 cantaloupe-sized calves and 1 wetback. So that is that's their chicken box. So they're reaching out. They're reaching out. Yeah. You know, it's amazing that they're still even a political party. They're so, it just goes, and you know, so Mitt Romney lost by 8 million votes. That was about, you know, 9 million too close for my taste. Do you know what I mean? It's just amazing that they still are able to garner that much political support in America when there's such obviously a bankrupt party. They don't have any ideas. They have no solutions. All they have is reactionary hatred.
Yeah.
John?
Yeah, so I love the caveat that you gave that, of course, it's not the California GOP who made this, it's one vendor. But, of course, the vendors are making things that they think will appeal to the people who are going to be at the convention. And they seem to think that throwing in these anti-woman things are going to be popular. You'll see the racist anti-Obama thing. Constantly, that stuff goes out. And while that may not be officially sanctioned by the party, they are appealing to those people because they know that will appeal to those people. And we were talking before the show about this. If you are a woman attending this Republican convention, what are you supposed to think about what your party thinks about you? Like, some of them probably were like, ha, Hillary's got fat thighs, because there's a lot of women hating women in the GOP. But I think that this will turn off some of them. And they like you said, they can't appeal to Hispanics. They obviously can't historically appeal to African Americans.
They can't appeal to gays either. I don't know if you remember, Reince Priebus says, you know, we can have a respectful conversation and be respectful. They're like, no, we can't. No, we're not respectful. They're gay.
Yeah. But let's bear in mind that while this is funny and it's the beginning of what will be a long anti-Hillary campaign we should expect for the next few years, it is like number 89 on the most offensive anti-women things they've done this year. And at least on the Chris Christie, I'll say this, and maybe this is controversial, I think it's just more socially acceptable to make fun of fat guys than fat women. It just is. Because making fun of a guy's weight does not by itself say you are worthless, you can't do anything, you have no value. But I think that people use that as an attack on women, and that's what they mean.
Yes. Yes.
And so for men, it's not as all-encompassing an insult.
That's
and
a
so
good
we accept it.
insight of the show there, I think. That was very nice, John. That is
Thank you.
true, yes. Men, their identity isn't wrapped up necessarily in their body image. I mean, more so now than it used to be. But not like women, for certainly, and they're not valued for their body image.
Exactly.
Men are
That's
valued for other things, and then like body image would be down the list, whereas women, it's kind of reversed. So
Oh
I
yeah,
think-
women can't get away from that. I mean,
Right.
you're
And
damned
you
if
look
you do.
fantastic.
Well, thank you. So do you. Women are damned if they do, damned if they don't. I mean,
That's
if you
true.
if you don't pay attention to your appearance, then you are criticized for that. If you pay too much attention to your appearance, then you're criticized for that. There's no Goldilocks area where okay, you'll get just the right amount of praise and just no criticism if you're in just the right perfect place and you look absolutely perfect every single time. So there's just no way out for any woman in any situation.
It's the same thing with female sexuality.
Yeah.
You're a prude if you're not having sex. You're a slut if you're having sex. So it's like, well, how do I win?
So
So
weird
there are
balance.
many issues for women.
Well,
where
you're a slut if you're not having sex with me. From the guy's point of view. Not me personally, whoever the guy is.
I thought you were referring to
me.
yourself. I was like, wow, John, you really wanted to counter that good point you made earlier in the show.
Yeah.
That was a
Science.
bad one.
So we're probably going to see years and years worth, which I hate. We're going to have to see years and years worth of just how bad this kind of misogyny in political discourse can get. I mean, it's like I was telling you guys earlier, it's not even that original. Last July in Australia with the new Prime Minister campaign, the old Prime Minister, Julia Gillard, was actually presented with this very same conundrum because there was a fundraiser where they said that she, it was, I think it was Julia Gillard quail or some dish where it was, small breasts, huge thighs, and a big red box. And it's pretty horrific when you think, as the prime minister of the country, she had to deal with
But
that.
she is on the rag a lot. So, I mean, that does.
Oh my God. All right. We're going to end on that note.